What is up? Welcome to another 5-star hot fire edition of Props to Consider and then maybe bet. UFC Vegas 64 edition. I am your host, Lou Betya, the Paragon of Virtue, coming off a better but not awesome week of props, but definitely better. This week, a little bit of a dicey card. We got some fights that may or may not happen. Got some people having some travel issues, but what better way to dissect props than bringing a guy who literally for a living is a prop mother effer. My guy on Twitter, MMA Propaholic, aka if he wants to tell you his first name, he will. Propaholic, how we doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, Lou. It's just another day in the world, and I'm ready to talk some props, man. I'm excited. This card isn't the greatest card, but there are some angles that we can discover in order to make some money. So let's get right to it, man.
Yeah, and I just broke down like the DraftKings angles on a show with my guy Kyle Marley. So from that, I'm looking more at not who's going to win, but like kind of percentages as to how to play people and like what kind of points they're going to score. But this is my kind of gambling. Props are this is my shit. Is props. So let's not waste any more time for the Fox Populi. Mr. Propaholic, what is the first prop that you like on this card?
Well, I mean, this is a 12-fight card now, and I think in the Hadley versus Candelario fight, I think Jake Hadley inside the distance at plus 225 is terrific value. Just because, like, if you're Candelario, how are you surviving so many times on the bottom, like giving up your neck, giving up, like, just giving up anything? Like, that man always walks into a bunch of shots, too. Like, he's a gold glove boxer. Like, I do like what he brings on the feet, but, when he does hit the ground, he kind of looks lost. I know he's a BJJ black belt, but the way Hadley attacks, man, that man is consistently going for submissions. He's consistently ground and pounding, and I love how he top mounts. I mean, he doesn't let his opponents get up. When he gets you on the ground, he's ruthless with it. And I think Candelario, he survived one too many times, man. I think this will be his last fight in the UFC, and I'm confident that Hadley gets it done inside the distance.
I think he may get one more fight. I mean, they fed him to Tyra. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, man, you feed him to a guy who looks like he's a monster. That's fine. And now they're feeding him to Hadley. Like this, he's like a pro wrestler where he's like the curtain jerker. Like they're just gonna feed this guy they're gonna feed Candelario. Look, I thought he won his fight in the Contender Series, but Ultima Morano I don't think is great either. I don't have any bets in this fight yet. I see your point with all this. I'm so like you're saying this is a buy low spot on Hadley, basically.
I completely. He's minus 260. Like, I just think the price tag at plus 225 is so much better value. I would not want Hadley in any parlays. Just God forbid the judges, it goes to decision and they just mess it up because last week, I mean, my God, it was terrible.
Can we agree that White Kong is just an absolutely terrible nickname for a fighter, though?
Terrible. I don't know why he got that.
I think the line should be different because of the name, but we'll move on. All right, let me go to my first one here. I'm trying to go lowest. All right, so this one, I don't think you're going to agree on the fighter, but maybe you'll disagree on the method. So Batista submission is plus 475. Now, I think Batista wins this fight everywhere it goes. His in the distance prop is plus 155. His KO prop is like 300, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it up. I wrote all this down, but
plus 300.
Yeah, because they think he could win either way. So like they're trying to balance it with KO versus sub. But
yeah,
to me, look, Lopez is coming off such a long layoff. I think the takedown should be there all day. Lopez really, for me, aside from the leg kicks, I don't know what he's going to really offer. Batista against Perrin took him down a bunch of times, and Perrin, friend of the MMA engine, by the way, Jay
awesome
Perrin.
Yeah,
friend of the channel, Jay Perrin, fighting. He's going to beat up an 18-year-old in a few weeks.
Oh God, can't wait to take that plus money on him.
And hopefully he will join us again. And but like I think the grappling is going to be there for Batista. You saw what he did to Kelleher. Plus 475. I think I have to take a stab. I'm definitely going to have him in the distance as a bet. But I think I have to take a stab in the submission here too, because I just think it's you give me almost 5-1 odds on a guy who is a proactive grappler who's just coming off a submission win. I got to think it's going to be there. And on a narrative note, when you take a guy that hasn't fought in 3 years, he could just, the threat of a submission could get a guy to tap pretty early because he's not in fight shape. Like he's not used to these long battles. So I'm going to play Batista sub plus 475 as the first of my nonsense props on this card.
I actually had a prop that I was just looking at before the show, and I saw Benito Lopez round 1 KO on Bet Online at plus 2,200.
Well, that's his win condition.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's going to win, that's how he's going to win.
He hasn't fought in 3 years. I mean, he could come out there like a bull and just storm rush him. I mean, I love what Benito brings with his counter strikes. I mean, the guy is so unpredictable. I mean, it's with flying knees, with head kicks. I mean, but when it gets to the second and third round, he does tend to fade just because he's throwing so many spinning techniques, so many kicks. He does like to maintain distance when it gets like into the late rounds, but I do like Batista like in round 2 or round 3. I think he could finish it any way he wants. I mean, I think this fight ends inside the distance most of the time, but if it goes to decision, I think it's going to be both guys respecting each other's power and just standing at distance.
If this goes to decision, then this is then
Batista going to shave a lot of people's glasses.
It's going to and it's going to make Batista take maybe a step down because
definitely.
I think he's a fighter on the rise right now. I think people love what they're seeing from him, and
he gets to finish round 1 here. He could be the top 15.
Look, there's a couple of fights in this card, like you mentioned Hadley. This is a setup fight to like.
Oh yeah.
This is just a guy. They're like, look, go out there, get an impressive win, and you can start getting these like near top 15 fights like in the very near future. But what's the next prop you got for us?
I know the Minner under 2.5. I mean, my God,
we only do plus odds on this show, sir. We don't get out of bed for minus odds here.
Okay, all right.
And I've seen some of your bets that you do. I know you got a ton of plus odds stuff that you got waiting for us.
I really do also like the Dawson Madsen. The fight doesn't go. It's not crazy like plus money, but it's plus 140 on DraftKings, plus 155 on Bet Online. I just think like the way these guys are just going to be going at it for 3 rounds with the grappling, the wrestling, and just everything going on is like I think this fight ends inside the distance. I really do like the fact that both of these guys in 12 fights in the UFC combined have only seen like 8 takedowns. Their opponents have only shot 8 takedowns on them combined. I think that can affect the fighter, either one of them going throughout the fight. And there was a prop that was also sticking out to me, and that's fight ends round 3. I think fight ends round 3 worth the sprinkle. I mean, if they're both going to be gassed. I think Dawson can get Madsen on his back because Madsen gets really tired. And his striking isn't really that great. Because when he throws overhands, he leaves his left hand down when he throws his right overhand. And I think he can get clipped or taken down easily because he's only then shot 2 takedowns on him. And these aren't like heavy grapplers. Like Dawson's attempted 75 takedowns. He's going to try to get this fight to the ground. And when he does, I think he grabs the back. And I think he gets this finish. I love the submission prop too. 3 props in this fight that I'm probably going to play.
So I like the round 3 as well.
Right.
Unfortunately for Dawson, it's only 1,000. I thought about doing this, but I can't. Like I wanted to do so. Dawson's submission round 3 is plus 1,400. So at that point, I would just play the round 3. Like I don't want to get greedy.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at his KO prop, and I'm like, it's 2,800 now. I don't even think a ground and pound's possible here. I think if he does win, it's by submission at a very high clip if he does win. That being said, I pulled out a contrarian angle on the DFS show I just did, where if their wrestling negates each other somehow, like, and this thing ends up on the feet for way more time than we think, I got to think Dawson has an advantage. I don't think it's a big advantage. His striking's still kind of raw, but Madsen's striking is like,
it's basic. It's fundamentals to me.
It's his striking is good enough to make him tell people he's a fighter in mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not finishing anybody with his striking, and it's barely enough. He has barely enough striking just to at least give the threat of him just not running across the cage.
Tagir too. He won that fight by split, and he could have lost that fight too, man. That was an extremely close fight.
It was bad fight IQ. It was really interesting. It was a guy saying like, "Oh, cool, I know how to strike with people," and like,
he does that here, he can get in trouble.
All right, I'm going to give my next one because you just brought up this fight, and I'm going to go. You could play 2 props in this fight, and I wouldn't discourage you from it. But I'm going to go Derek Minner round 1 sub. It's plus 550. It's literally, I think, his winning condition. Yeah, he didn't get subbed by Ryan Hall, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
But I don't like his look. I think this fight plays out simply. Minner subs in round one. Shylon's been subbed 6 times, so like he's certainly not, and he's been subbed by guys that were 0-0. Like this isn't a guy who's got like some elite defense. And if he doesn't get it, you probably are looking at Shylon round 2, round 3. I will say that my guy Kyle Marley that I just did the show already put a bet in fight to end in submission at plus 200. I find to be a very interesting pivot. And I'll say this right now: if you're going to do fight to end in submission, much like when I bet split decisions, if you're going to bet fight to end in sub, I'd bet both guys to also win by sub and get that double up because you'll make like pretty good money just doing it that way. But I like Min around 1. Look, if he's going to win the fight, that's how he wins it. And if not, we've seen Shylon against like TJ Brown. He just took over and laid on him and beat him up against Soriano.
So much money on TJ Brown, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, me too. And I made like some pretty bold declarations that TJ Brown is going to look like minus 1,000 that fight. Like I hate myself for it, but like against Soriano, same deal. Like we're Sean Soriano, who is, I don't know, I don't like him like a lot of other people do, but Soriano's another gasser where after round 1, the guy's got nothing to offer. And I kind of feel like with Minner, like that's going to be the case here. Like when he goes for submissions, he's going for like, he's exerting 100%.
He'll go for it anywhere. He doesn't care where the hell he is.
No, he gives no fucks. He's just like fucking doing it. So I'm the plus 550 is appealing for what I think is his win condition. And that's where I'll go with that. But I wouldn't talk you off Shylon round 2 or round 3. And I don't know what FanDuel is offering.
Look at DraftKings. DraftKings Shylon KO plus 200.
What are they offering? Whatever they're offering for Shylon round 2, round 3 combo.
Yeah.
Because I don't use FanDuel. I know you do. I know like
I don't get the combos on DraftKings. Kind of sucks.
Oh yeah, New York market. They don't. Yeah. But you got to move to like Pennsylvania or something.
I know you got everything there.
Where we have like horrible liquor laws, but we have great gambling laws.
I have no finish only or decision props only, so I don't get any of those.
Ridiculous. All right, well, that's what I got on that one. So what's the next prop you have to offer the other people here?
I really,
something juicy, son.
I hate low-level heavyweights, man. I hate it so much. Give it
to me.
Jared Bandera, if you're watching this, man, I respect you. You're a fighter, but why didn't you throw any combinations? All you threw were calf kicks. You had it wide open. That man was dancing on you. He was dancing on you. From the Dana White Contender Series. He was just a baseball player 5 years ago. And you let him walk on you like that? I'm sorry. That got me so mad. But the Josh Parisian sub at 9-1 is definitely playable if you play it for 0.15 units. I mean, Chase Sherman got taken down. I know that people have been saying this all week, but you're getting taken down by Fat Collier and you're getting subbed by him. It's embarrassing. And Parisian can get this fight to the ground. Sherman is lost there. He's very lost on the ground, and I think Parisian can wrap up the neck, but there's also another prop in this fight. I mean, Sherman by KO isn't bad. Even Sherman round 2. I think Sherman could get him out of there, but it could also be very boring going to decision, but 9-1 odds on Parisian sub, I think it's worth the opportunity.
Yeah, so I have a prop on that fight, and only because here's my great science behind it. I won with this exact bet last time, so I'm going to keep doing it. I had Parisian round 2 against Bedell.
Well,
I may have been drunk when I put like $80 on this bet. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I betting? I have a good night, but I'm like, man, Bedell sucks. And then like,
they both suck.
I know, but like Bedell is really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And Bedell's having some early success. My buddy's like, good bet, dude. And I'm like, I know this is stupid. And then of course, Bedell, like by the last 30 seconds of the round, he like sucks. And then Parisian takes him down and gets him out of that round 2. And I'm like, never a doubt, bitches. Never a doubt. So round 2 is plus 600. Look, man, what's his path here? Catch a leg kick. His path is Sherman lands on the ground. Look, that's his path. Whether it's him initiating it, Sherman falling over, tripping over a bubblegum wrapper, or like he actually goes for a takedown.
Like Weezy would say, a spinning fat kick.
Yeah, I mean, but like if Sherman, if this thing hits the ground, if this Parisian's, it's over. Like Parisian can actually beat him, and that's it. And So for me, I'm going round 2 at plus 600. I've been talking about this fight for 2 shows now. I won't talk about it no more, like, at all. So I'm moving on. What's the next prop you got for us?
I also this fight with Nate Maness by decision plus 450. I mean, I understand he's coming down to flyweight, but I think like 8 out of 10 times this fight goes to decision. And Nate Maness has won plenty of decisions, and 2 of Tagir's losses in the UFC are by decision. And I just think plus 450 it's just worth the shot. I mean, I don't think this fight ends inside the distance. I mean, Nagurmedov couldn't submit God, I can't even say his last name, but he couldn't even submit him, and I was shocked. But Nate has great takedown defense. I mean, he defended 19 of 20 takedowns against Munoz, which to me, I mean, I know Munoz isn't the greatest wrestler, but to have the cardio to defend 20 takedowns, and I know Munoz also had a foul. He had 3 nut shots. It was a shit show, that fight.
We don't call them nut shots on the show.
Yeah, we call
Yam bags.
yam bags. Yeah, yam bags.
Look, you're my guest, but like it's yam bags here. We say yam bags.
Yeah, yam bags. Yeah.
I don't know what this nut shot is you speak of.
Yeah.
This is a good Christian broadcast, but we fucking say yam bags on this show. I don't have a bet on that fight. That's an interesting look. Like this is one where like I think we have to wait to the scales. Like, let's see how he looks. Because 5'10", 125 is like
so scary, man. He's gonna look like a skeleton. It's gonna be intimidating.
What's intriguing to me here is that everybody's talking about how like Tagir's coached by, like, look at his coaching staff. Like they should have the game plan to win this fight.
Yeah.
But doesn't Maness have the same exact advantage? Like he's already like fought this exact style of fighter like
so many times.
Yeah, I would say, and also like not that it's a prop you can bet now, but Maness live would be interesting. Like, because he doesn't seem to take damage. Like, I mean, Gravely had him dead and he was fine. But this isn't like Tagir, like, not gonna be throwing like tons of bombs. Like, can Maness just survive not getting put in subs? And honestly, look at the striking numbers of like Ulanbekov here. Like, they're not big. Like, I don't think Maness is gonna be hurt.
He's very low volume.
So it's telling that like he's a 2-1 favorite, not bigger here. If you're getting Maness at like 6-1 after round 1. Do you have live bets in New York? Do I let you do that?
Yes. Yeah, I can live. Yeah.
He might be worth
taking a shot.
He might be worth a poke at 6-1.
Definitely.
Like, but all right, I guess I'm up next. Jesus fucking Christ. With these.
I know this card, man.
Miranda Maverick round 2 submission at plus 750. I think her path is sub. Look, I even thought about like contrarian like KO with her because like the lines are so different, but honestly, it just doesn't seem to be her MO when she fights. I think she just likes submissions. We have data points. She's already done it to her in exhibitions. Is Shana Young better than when they first fought? Probably. Is Maverick better? Yes. Like way better. And aside from the Blanchfield fight where she got absolutely dominated, and look, man, Erin Blanchfield is probably a future champion.
She's going to destroy Molly McCann next week. She's going to destroy it.
Future champion.
Yeah.
Like, so whatever. She didn't lose the Barber fight. I don't care what the record says. She didn't lose that fight. So I think Maverick goes in there and just annihilates her and takes her time, chucks her on the ground, beats her up, eventually gets a sub. I'm playing round 2 over round 1 because, as I always like to say, it pays more. So I'm going to play the round 2 sub plus 750. I can't imagine you would play Shana Young in any way here, even on a contrarian angle. You can't, right?
No. I mean, if you play her plus 500, I mean, this is MMA. I mean, we have seen 4 main events end in injuries this year. Anything can happen in the cage. So I don't hate you taking, if you guys want to take Shana Young plus 500, but I think Maverick's just going to roll through her. And I think something kind of, the odds aren't out for me yet on FanDuel, but KO/points, I think you can maybe get plus money. You can reduce that minus 600 money line to like minus 150 or whatever they open it at. I don't know what they're going to open. I think
in the distance?
No, I really like the KO points, the double chance on FanDuel. I think they're going to be plus money. And I like a shot in the KO at 9-1. She could definitely ground and pound her. I mean, Shana Young she does tend to gas when she gets grappled. And I mean, she's going to play submission defense. So I could see just Maverick unloading ground and pound. And I think 9-1 could be a little poke, but mostly it's going to be the Maverick submission.
Just a little sprinkle.
Yeah.
A little sprinkle. All right. I have one prop left after this, but I want to hear what you got left for the people.
You know, I like Shylon by decision, but bet online. What the hell are you giving? He's
What are they giving you?
he's plus 225. He's plus 200.
No,
What are they? I
you
don't
can't
know
take
who that. Oh
You can't take that.
no, you can't. But I mean, I think FanDuel. Just wait for FanDuel because every week they mess stuff up, and my God, they give
It'll
us
be like
better odds.
plus 480.
Oh, I'm so. I was so patient with FanDuel last week, man. They took forever. They took forever.
It'll be plus 480 on FanDuel.
Of course it will be.
What else are you looking at on the board?
You know, I really nothing else for me.
What about the main event? Give me a main event bet.
Oh man.
Because I got one I like, but let's see. I want to hear what you have to say first.
You know, I kind of like Rodriguez late just because Lemos tends to slow down. I think FanDuel is going to give the 3-4-5 KO at least plus 800. And I definitely think that is worth the shot because, my God, Lemos gets so tired. She doesn't know how to maintain her power when she throws her strikes. She throws everything thunderous. She's not really a technical fighter. She's more of a powerful striker, as she does like to get her opponents out of there. She's never been 5 rounds. And with this whole thing going on with the traveling right now, and I don't know when Lemos is going to get to Las Vegas, but she could just be exhausted from everything that's going on right now. And, you know, I just think a late bet on Rodriguez is a great look here.
So I have written down Marina Rodriguez round 3 or round 4 at plus 750 odds. I am right there with you. DraftKings does not let me do the.
Yeah, I can't do them either.
They don't let me do the combo with method plays like FanDuel does, but they do let me do the round combos. So round 3, round 4 combined is plus 750. I'll also be taking a poke on the round 3 KO and the round 4 KO. And of course, we'll sprinkle on round 5 KO. But I'm with you. It's going to be Lemos is going to fade. She's never been in championship rounds. One thing I know about Marina Rodriguez, she can take some shots. Her cardio is pretty on point. Yeah. I do think a finish is live late. And if Lemos does decide to go the takedown route, A, Rodriguez has improved her takedown defense, and B, it's just going to tire Lemos out more. So to me, I can't imagine that's the strategy. I think she's just going to go for broke the first round or two and just try to get her out of there. And that's going to be that. But we have come to my favorite part of the show, which is the yambag special. And for those watching for the first time, shame on you. Should be watching every episode. Number 2, it is the fight where we bet on a point deduction to happen. Could be an eye poke, could be a cage grab, could be a ball shot. I don't care as long as they take the point. That's what we're betting on. DraftKings, maybe not in New York, but in other states. DraftKings and Betway, which is the same odds provider, offer these bets at 20-1 odds. And I always put in $5 bet for mine, $5 bet for my guest. And if we win, $300 for my guest because I'm just a cool ass motherfucker.
Yes.
Mr. Propaholic, what? Even though you told me earlier in the week, and I'm like, don't tell me anything.
I'm sorry, I was excited. I love Munoz and Shylon. I mean, my God, Munoz had 3 nut shots against Nate Maness, and he's always throwing to the body. And I think Shylon, if he is losing the fight in the first round, and if Munoz even hits him near the yambags, I think that he's gonna get a point deducted because I think the referees have just had enough of Munoz. I mean, they always have to check down this guy. And Shylon can grab the fence a ton. I think this fight is going to be a mess, and I think plus 2,000 for a mess to happen. I love it. I love it.
And it's not. Let me just look this up. So Wheezy and I have a whole. I mean, this is Wheezy's thing more than me, but he's definitely correct. That's all right. So we usually look for Southpaw versus Orthodox with stances opening up. But this is just Orthodox. Yeah. I mean, I like the look there. I think if Munoz does get a finish, it's late. You don't want fights that's going to end in the first round.
Yeah.
You need the yambags need time to breathe. There needs to be time for them, unless it's fucking Dean Barry, in that, So for me, I can think of no better fight to have clam bags than Ramona Pasquale and Tamira Vidal. A, they're both just awful. B, Pasquale has some grappling equity here.
Yeah.
So cage grabbing is in play. Vidal has taken point deductions like in her favor in the past. But also like it was gonna be this or Parisian Sherman
Didn't she
because
cry in the Alien Perez fight? Wasn't she crying?
I wouldn't you?
I think
got
she was
like
crying, yeah. I would, but I mean, you just heard her scream.
so it was gonna be this or Parisian Sherman, but honestly, that fight could end in 2 minutes.
Oh,
So
God.
like I don't like will they have the time to cheat? I just don't know.
No.
But I feel like in the Pascual Vidal, they're gonna have plenty of time to cheat and like bore the audience and
Yeah.
it's a good start to just go clam bags right off the jump. I'd like to ask you a quiz question while I'm at it
Okay.
because I don't like prepping my guests. I like the realism of it. There has been one yambag fight where it was not 20-1, where I think I influenced the market because I got it to 18-1. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
Moving. Yeah,
Here's
line moving God, Lou.
so I'm gonna give you 2 hints. I give you 1 hint, let you guess, and give you another hint. Your 1 hint is it was at heavyweight. And this isn't a hint. It was this last calendar year. It's one. So your first hint is it was a heavyweight. Name the fight.
I try not to remember low heavyweight fights, man. I try to stay away from them. But
Well, one of them's decent. One of them's not low level. Here's your second hint. Here's your second hint.
Yeah, give me another hint.
The guy that lost is no longer in the UFC, and the guy that lost is probably why it came down to 1800 because he's a dirty fighter. You don't know. You're not gonna get it.
No, I'm not gonna get it, man.
Greg Hardy against Tybura came
Oh.
down at plus 1800, and I'm like, I mean, I'm bad about it. And then it went down. Like when I saw it went down, I'm like, did I influence this line movement? Like, because who the fuck else is betting on a point deduction unless you're like the 12 people that watch these shows? And I'm like, come on, man. So Hardy just didn't have time to get the point deduction. He got dominated. But
you know, wait.
Anyway,
there's one more prop I have, Lou. I forgot to mention it earlier.
Go ahead.
Neil Magni by split decision is
you
plus
have
700. You gotta play that. You just have to play it.
I didn't even see it. Man.
That is crazy. Neil Magny is always in these close fights. Like I could see Derek Rodriguez pouring the volume on him early, and then Neil Magny just pushing the grappling heavy.
Tim Triano is going to be very disappointed in me that I didn't pull one split decision. So like mathematically, like the way I do these, is if I'm going to do that, I bet split decision, and I bet like I was talking about before with the submission prop. You bet both guys to win by split decision because if the split decision happens, you're making bank, dude. Like, you have access to that, right?
What split decisions?
Yeah.
Sadly, no.
Really, DraftKings doesn't give you anything. Yeah. Hey, DraftKings. I'm gonna tag DraftKings in this. Yeah, man. Look, give my boy the ability. Like,
seriously.
And look. Like you can't give my boy the ability to bet these 10-1, 7-1 props. Like you're gonna win. Like just take the money. Like you guys don't want our money. Like you're too good for us, you sons of bitches. I like that look. I mean, I can't believe I didn't even like. I actually favored D-Rod.
Yeah,
like slightly. I don't know if I'm gonna have a bet on it, but like his volume's good. But like I think you have to go split decision.
And it's also Max Griffin knocked down Magni in the last fight too, and I think Rodriguez hits very hard. And
Magni's coming off getting killed.
Yeah, it's
killed, like murdered.
I've been thinking about playing Magni all week, but I think Rodriguez could knock him out too. But Neil Magny just never gets finished. But I see Magny getting knocked down in the first round. I can definitely see it happening. And then Magny just getting in the corner and just really regrouping because he has insane fight IQ. And I think he just bashes him in the second and third round.
I got to see if they have this up here yet. So DraftKings has been a little bit slow for they've been slow for props. Okay, so the Magny, so split decision on that fight is plus 400 just to either guy.
That's not bad at all.
And then I mean, you're talking about Magny plus 700.
But, and even the split decision plus 400.
Do you know what D-Rod is?
It's got to be like 15-1.
10-1.
No, really?
10-1. They're not going to do 50.
10-1's
10-1's
not bad. I
But
like.
but if you hit the split decision prop and then both ends of it, like then you're rooting for D-Rod, obviously at that point. But then you're hitting a couple of bets, like you know, you get 2x, 1x, 2x on the split, 1x on each guy. You're winning some serious, scratch. That's not a bad way to play it. But I think we did a pretty good job on this horse shit card.
Guys,
to
if you
find some
want to miss
fun bets.
any card, if you guys want to miss any card this year, miss this one. I do not blame you at all. But I will be watching it. I am a degenerate gambler.
People say this. It's like, well, you can miss this card. It's something, what happens? And like, we have a week off for Thanksgiving holiday, and it's like, I wish there was UFC this weekend.
That's how I am, man.
And then we're gonna get to Christmas break, and it's like, oh my god, no fights. So enjoy it. Enjoy the fights while you can. And look, I'm a sick bastard. So I'll take Parisian Sherman. I posted earlier today on Twitter. We're two cancellations away from that being the main event of this card.
Imagine.
And I'm still watching. And then I'd be like, thank God. This is the main event that we truly deserve as people. But my guy Propaholic, tell the people where to find you on Twitter. Tell them why they should follow you, like I do, and a bunch of us in the community do as well.
Yeah, guys. I'm on just Twitter, but at MMA Propaholic. I'm actually MMA_Propaholic on Twitter, and I also have a Discord where I send all my NFL, NBA plays, and all my MMA plays, and I also do breakdowns, but I've been kind of slacking on the breakdowns because this week it's not really the greatest card ever, but I do plan on getting some more betting breakdowns out before the end of this card, when this card starts. But yeah, next week I will be breaking down every single fight, and I post all my breakdowns on Twitter. I post all my bets on Twitter. Everything's on Twitter, and everything's in my Discord. You guys can catch me there. But YouTube, I definitely am going to start doing YouTube soon.
I can vouch for my boy here in that him and I talk about NFL props and NBA props all the time. On top of just the fact we talk about fights, daily we're like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And he's like me. We're not talking oh yeah, Tom Brady. No, we're not doing bullshit standard props. He's we're finding obscure guys where the market's wrong. So he does. I'm just saying, if you follow him on Twitter, at least he does the work. He puts an effort, and he'll give you he's hitting the other day. He's Equinemius St. Brown. Most what's funny is a lot of your props hitting the first quarter, and I'm like,
I know.
Well, that was nice.
Everyone I work has been tailing them. They love me, man. I'm famous.
So I would tell you, if you guys love doing NFL props, NBA props, especially on top of just people that are fight fans, check him out. He's always got good takes on it and reasonable takes. And he's posting his betting slips. He's not betting $5 on him. He stands behind his bet. So highest recommendation, on my end, to go follow my guy Propaholic. If you're watching the show, you're probably following me on Twitter. If not, Lou Betya on Twitter. I sometimes give good takes. I'm always trying to be funny and also polite to the people.
Oh, you're always funny, Lou. Everyone knows that.
Comes with old age. Propaholic, thank you so much for coming on the show. Man. This will not be the last time that you are on this channel. I certainly hope so. And guys, good luck this weekend. Take care. God bless.